Good evening from Swansea wrestling fans. I'm your host Ben Allison and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling insight, news and reviews on a daily basis. Of course, last night was WWE's Payback premium live event, and today we will be giving our thoughts on that show in detail. We'll be going through each and every single match. And of course, then tonight, it's AEW's All Out pay-per-view taking place from Chicago. But one man will be absent, and that man's name is CM Punk, as CM Punk has officially been fired from All Elite Wrestling. Yesterday night, almost 24 hours ago now, basically immediately following our show, AEW put out this following statement reading: AEW have terminated the wrestler and employment agreement between CM Punk and AEW effective immediately. It would then go on to say that there was, following the incident that happened backstage at AEW All in London last Sunday, an investigation was conducted by the AEW Discipline Committee, and later they convened with legal counsel before giving a unanimous recommendation to Tony Khan that CM Punk should be terminated with a cause. So basically, that means that Tony Khan was recommended to make a decision, but then it was, ultimately up to him, and he made the decision to let go of CM Punk. Now, as of this time, CM Punk has not responded to this. There's rumors going around, and Sports Illustrated have reported that CM Punk is preparing to release a statement of some kind, and they've heard it might be explosive. A lot of fans are theorizing that perhaps it could come out during today's AEW All Out show. Maybe he will try and hijack the show taking place from his hometown of Chicago. Last night on AEW Collision, which took place from Chicago, Tony Khan came out to address the crowd, and he was booed out of the building. I actually felt bad for TK, if I'm being completely honest here, because he came out to them. He was fully honest. He explained everything. And well, they just didn't really care. They were just booing him. It was really, really awful. I really, really felt not for CM Punk, for Tony Khan in that situation. But Tony Khan then later went on to say that, he went on to say during the opening to AEW Collision that he feared for the health and safety of the staff working there. Fair enough. But then he also went on to say he feared for his life, which I think was a little bit of a reach, to be honest with you. But yeah, CM Punk is officially gone from All Elite Wrestling, and here is how I see it. Whether or not you agree or you disagree with TK firing CM Punk, at least he made a call. It kind of felt like following, All Out last year when there was, of course, that big, press, the brawl out situation. It kind of felt like TK kind of just didn't make a decision. And because of that, I feel like drama continued to months and months and months. This time decided to nip it in the bud quickly. He had a couple of decisions to make. Was he going to get rid of Jack Perry? Was he going to suspend Jack Perry? Was he going to suspend CM Punk? Was he going to get rid of CM Punk? Regardless, some things had to happen following that situation. It was a no-brainer, and in the end, he made a decision. And we can sit here and we can evaluate that decision as much as we like. But as a business owner, he had to make a decision, and at least this time, he made a clear one. And personally, from a business perspective, of course, it's not going to be good for the company. He was their top merch seller, and I think he was also their third or fourth top merch seller with CMFTR as well. So yes, it's not great from a business perspective at all. But there's more to life than, just, I say there's more to a company than just, earning money. And that, when people say that, they're like, what? That can't be true. That's not the right thing. Well, yes, because earning money in the short term, of course, that's great. But if long term people are unhappy, they then jump over to WWE. Long term, that could destroy your company, and long term, earn you less money. So perhaps long term, this was the right call from TK. But now let me introduce the rest of the panel for today's show. Firstly, the head of reviewing, Coby Galenzoski. Coby, give me your thoughts on this CM Punk situation. Do you think that Tony Khan has made the correct decision?
At the end of the day, I have no idea, and that's the biggest thing. Is I 100% agree with how you said it and the way you said it. At the end of the day, Tony Khan made a decision. This is commendable because he went to the resources. He had people in his business think about people in his business think about it, and he also went outside of his business and got recommendations that, yeah, it might be the best choice to fire him. Tony Khan made the decision to fire him. At the end of the day, we're sitting here and we don't know what's happening. Like you said, he was a top merch seller with that as himself and with CMFTR. We are looking here and we don't know the everlasting effects of what's going to happen. We don't. AEW is not in trouble because AEW was fine before Punk got there. At the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know the general trend of where the business and the end of things is going, but we don't know how much of a good choice this was, and we won't know it for a number of years to see the trends, to see who leaves, to see who stays, all that, all that jazz, if you want to say it that way. But I mean, it's definitely an odd thing to say. Like, I mean, I saw something on Instagram. It was like, yeah, Roman Reigns' championship run has been way longer than CM Punk's run in AEW. It's kind of comical, but at the end of the day, I don't want to say he should have stayed away. I don't want to say he shouldn't he shouldn't have come back. But obviously, someone or something, and Tony Khan felt this was the right decision to make. We
Yeah.
don't know if it is or not, but at least he made the decision at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I will agree with you there, Coby. A decision had to be made, and he made a decision. Now, the next person I'm going to introduce is the person that my team, Arsenal Football Club, defeated today, and that is the Man United fan, Chaos. Chaos, how are you doing after we beat you guys 3-1 on our way to winning the Premier League?
Yeah, you got to be on top and then bottle it like you did same time last year. So it's all good. Say that. It's all good. It's all good. 3-1, but yes, we're the only ones that's got the treble. So yeah, we're not the only ones. But still, anyway, onto more important things than a measly 3-1 win. CM Punk. As you can see, I am a fanboy of his. You know, I'm wearing the shirt as that boy All In, and what was it? Was it the best decision for business wise and for morale in the locker room? Yeah, it was the best decision. Obviously, TK does believe in second chances. You know, depending on the situation, he's given numerous people second chances. You know, Jeff Hardy and whatnot. But yeah, just the way this thing unraveled. Unfortunately, the guy's toxic. Even though he could be the best merch seller, you know, but you know he started to have definitely that Hulk Hogan effect, and he was even portraying that. You know, he was embracing that on TV and right in front of our faces, and you know, it was just affecting us not just on camera but also off camera, and it just yeah, he just wasn't great for business. And it's a shame, you know. I selfishly, I wish he could at least just wait until we got Punk against MJF 3, and then I would have been fine. You know, make this whole real world championship thing mean something. But it's a shame, Mr. Scott. It's been such a mad, weird run, as I said in the DMs to you guys. That it's been such a mad, weird run. I'm still thankful for it. But at the end of the day, he pretty much brought it on himself, and he's definitely someone that, you know, if you keep on poking the bear, like he used to say that this is not what Jack Perry wanted. You know, he could have he could have easily set Punk up to fail right here, and he got what he wanted, and you know, he's gone now. So we won't know. I hope that we get more than a statement. I hope Chris Van Vliet is in CM Punk's DM saying, "Look, we need to do an interview right now, bro. Like, we need to talk about this." Because I want to hear from the horse's mouth, you know, what's.
Oh no, we got technical difficulties there with Chaos. We'll try and get those. No, he's back. He's back. Or he's not back. He's one or the other. But I mean, who knows? Maybe we should reach out to CM Punk. Maybe we'll try and get that interview worth a shot at the end of the day. But no, I mean, I do find it hilarious that Chaos wearing a CM Punk shirt just said that it was the right choice to buy a CM Punk. But the irony there was fantastic. But also joining us, you guys can see him in the bottom right of the screen. Bret Sterberg. Bret, give me your thoughts on, you know, the decision to get rid of CM Punk from All Elite Wrestling.
Well, I hope everyone's having a great Sunday to start off. I do believe that it was the right decision for Tony Khan to make. Do I believe it was the right decision for him to make that decision today or yesterday? I don't know, because you have a pay-per-view coming up, but I guess it was the smartest decision for him to make. There's a lot of reeling back we have to do now. A lot of reeling back. There were several storylines that contained CM Punk that are around Collision, and we saw some of them unravel last night with Ricky Starks, with Bryan Danielson. I just believe that he brought it on himself. I wanted to see a CM Punk run, a good CM Punk run, and unfortunately we didn't get that, and we got a toxic CM Punk run where he's literally bringing everyone against him. So unfortunately, TK did what he had to do. I think he set himself up for destruction going out last night, like you said, Ben. But
Yeah.
At the same time, they had to do what was best for business, and I guess that was doing that yesterday. I don't know if the days have anything to play with it, but I guess it would have been rude for him to fire him after all out. But yeah, I just think that generally it was the best decision to make going forward. It's going to impact the company a lot, so that it's either you have to look at who's on the market to bring it in, or you look at what's within your company to work with, and that's what I've been preaching for a while now. So I hope they get back to that.
Yeah, no, I really, really do hope that you are, you know, you're right there with that. I hope this doesn't hurt AEW. Now, of course, in terms of why, you know, Tony Khan made the decision to fire CM Punk while they were in Chicago, the day that they had a show in Chicago, I feel like he hoped that by announcing it ahead of time, then the fans wouldn't chant CM Punk. Whereas if they didn't announce it, they'd be hoping for him to show up as a surprise. I think that was the mentality TK had. I think that was what Tony Khan thought would happen. However, of course, yesterday, he got booed. He got booed like crazy when he came out. And could the same thing happen today? Could the fans try and hijack All In? I mean, Chaos, you're back. Do you think they could hijack All In?
Sorry about that, guys. Don't know what happened there. Yeah, I think that it's definitely a possibility that that they could hijack it. Yeah, it was just poor timing on his end. I don't see what I don't know what he was trying to get out of that. Obviously, trying to jump ahead of the curve. You don't do that with a Chicago crowd. You just don't. Yeah, there's a high chance that they could hijack it. Who knows what's going to happen? Because right now it's like, the value, in my opinion, the value of the pay-per-view is kind of diminished now because of this. Obviously, was anticipating Punk versus Starks, you know, and obviously they try to make it back with obviously Danielson and Starks instead, which is going to be still a good card. It's going to be a good match. But yeah, I feel like the anticipation is definitely going to. Everyone's looking forward to this for the wrong reasons, basically. Everyone's for people that's viewing at home, and it's a shame. It's going to take a while for AEW to rebuild from this, but But yeah, they will get back on their feet. Like they were just as fine with him when he was suspended or like gone for all those months. They'll be fine. It will just take a bit of time. I guess also with Tony Khan, I feel like he thought this was gonna blow over because they were still promoting Punk, but on Dynamite and a bit of Rampage. Hopefully will.
Oh, we got more issues again there with chaos or technical issues. I mean, that is what happened.
He
No,
was him and the Elite were. Sorry. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I feel like obviously when all that happened, he was eradicated from AEW. Like there was no speaking of him. With this time, they kind of leaned it forward a bit, like it was embracing him. Who knows what's going to happen now? So obviously, certain people got into his ears and to him to go. So we'll have to see what happens at All Out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I personally do think that CM Punk's currently watching this show, and I think he turned it on, Chaos. He saw that somebody was wearing a CM Punk t-shirt while saying that it was the right decision to fire him. And he was like, well, I'm not having this. And he turned off your internet. I think that's personally what happened there, Chaos. But
maybe so.
The best in the world at disconnecting internet.
I do think there's a good chance that he will hijack the show tonight, though.
That would be fascinating.
I don't know if he would give AEW the light of day though after this, because like any publicity is good publicity. If you know what I'm trying to say, that's what they do say.
Yeah.
So why give AEW the publicity after firing him? But I do think there's a chance of him buying a ticket and just completely hijacking the show, as I mentioned to you before.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple.
Enzo.
Oh yeah, oh no, please don't. We got a couple of comments here. Firstly, number one, Superfly, saying he's hoping that All Out goes well tonight, as he really doesn't want, the CM Punk stuff to ruin the show. Meanwhile, we have Soul saying weak mind, weak body, weak spirit. Good riddance. Short and simple.
Fair enough.
We got Dennis D saying Punk screwed Punk. And
it's hard to defend him. It's hard to defend him right now. Like we gave him the benefit of the doubt last time, but this time I'm just like, come on, bro.
You really, really just can't. We got David Sheldon as well saying a masterful talent undermined by his own stubborn ego. The very thing I feared when he came back would eventually undermine him, despite him being a master of his craft. And I feel like that's how a lot of people felt. We wanted him back, and then we got him back, and obviously it's not gone the way which any of us anticipated. But at least Chaos and David in the comments as well, at least we got to witness that last match in person live, and Soul as well, of course, in the comments. And by the way, talking on that note, our All-In vlog will be out this Tuesday. Me and Chaos did a shared vlog, and it'll be a very fun one, so make sure you guys check that out on our YouTube channel this Tuesday. But now, let's stop talking about the negativity and let's move on to what else happened last night, and that, of course, was WWE's Payback Premium Live Event. A show which, to be honest with you, I really enjoyed. And let's start things off by talking about Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. Of course, this happened in a steel cage match. And for the last couple of months, every week on the Raw Review show we do, I've kind of been complaining about Becky and Trish, the feud that these two women have had together. I felt like it got extremely repetitive. It got dragged out way too long. And I thought it should have been wrapped up at SummerSlam at the latest. So I'm going to be honest with you, going into Payback, I just didn't really care about this match at all. I truthfully didn't. However, these two women, they delivered. They really, really delivered. It was one of the best steel cage matches we've seen in WWE for quite a while now. I was thoroughly entertained from start until finish. Becky Lynch got the big dub, the dub that she needed to, now take her into the title scene. They're teasing perhaps even her going down to NXT to feud with Tiffany Stratton. I'd be down for that. And of course, they set up the Zoe Stark-Trish Stratus feud as well, which I'm all for. But Chaos, I'll take it to you first. Give me your thoughts on Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage from last night.
Wow. If this was the best time to make you care about this, they made sure you cared about this feud. Because I was just like you. I think everyone was not. I think that, and the fact that they were the first match on the card, in my thought was just like, all right, they just want to get this thing over and done with. But they made sure you wanted they wanted you to actually care for them and whatnot, and they really left everything out in the ring, man. So there's so many segments on there. And the thing is, I've noticed with the quality of these, WWE has had a way. They've had a good strong streak of making you care about these B pay-per-views. Because let's be honest, this was a B pay-per-view, but since probably Extreme Rules last year, like they've been hitting it bar like every time with these B pay-per-views. And this really hit it out of the park. The stuff with Zoe Stark was cool. There was a couple fumbles in certain parts, but just the close finishes, and the association with Zoe Stark, as well as with the aftermath afterwards as well. Looks like Zoe Stark is obviously going to go and do her own thing. I prefer, like, this was a good way for her to get the rub, if you will, from Trish Stratus and whatnot, and also Becky Lynch. It was a perfect way to start the show as well, and it was just making me more excited for what was to come. Because to be fair, when I looked at the card, I was just like, this might be decent, but what a way to start it off. It was definitely one of the matches, if not the match of the night. But
Wow, big praise. And of course, that other match, which maybe could take that title, we'll talk about in just a little bit. But Coby, what about you? What were your thoughts on Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus?
I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, I've been reviewing Monday Night Raw for Wrestling Republic since, I want to say, about April, or I guess early at the beginning of the year. And there was time I was unable to get it done. I'm sitting here and I know that this feud was kind of drawn out longer, and they could have chosen to end it the not the Raw after, but the second Raw after SummerSlam, where they were kind of hyping it up. Oh, it's in Winnipeg. We're gonna have this big match, and then that was just so underwhelming. A lot of people were turning out, and I mean, this is a similar effect of what some people feel about the Bloodline. At the end of the day, this match delivered on all levels. We had great action. Trish taking those bumps. We saw Trish hanging from her feet from the top of the cage upside down. At the end of the day, whether you like Trish or not, that's a hard spot to do. I mean, I put this in the review, and I 100% agree with what Ben said. Like, this was by far, has to be the greatest. One of the greatest steel cage matches of the modern, like, the last 10 years. Like, I mean, we have the Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers, but I think that, like, there's none other match that can genuinely sniff this match. It was phenomenal on all levels. Of course, you have the weirdness of, like, okay, well, we're in this steel cage, and now we're gonna have some, like, oh, we're gonna tease them escaping it. I don't necessarily like that. The stipulation is odd. It's supposed to keep them in. It's supposed to do that. The heel is supposed to escape, not the face. At the end of the day, I thought it was a great match. Everything. I physically can't complain about this match. That's how great it actually was.
Yes, absolutely. And what about you, Bret? Do you agree with all of us? Do you agree that this match exceeded everybody's expectations?
I think this match should have been originally Zoe Stark versus Becky Lynch, but that is putting into factor all of the months of work that they've done to build this up. So I think that eventually, like, back down the line, I think they should have had Trish be Zoe Stark's manager and then Zoe Stark be in this match. But this was an amazing match. It took home the show. Not the entire show. It was a great match, but it was definitely a great steel cage match. I feel like I've seen this already. So I want something different with Becky Lynch, and I want a new storyline.
Okay, I mean, I'll agree with that now. I hope they do just move on from that. For what it was, I really enjoyed it. For what it was, last night's match, I loved the storyline. Like you said, it kind of felt like, well, it outlasted how long we wanted it to go for, to say the very, very least. But now let's talk about something which I think everybody has been enjoying and everyone maybe even wants to see a bit more of. And that is LA Knight, against The Miz. And we knew that this was going to be awesome. And last night it was announced that John Cena would be the special guest referee for the match. And he only made things better. He really did. He came out, he delivered a promo. The Miz got in his face during a promo battle. John Cena started doing, chants of his own. It was brilliant. LA Knight then came out. LA Knight, The Miz put on a really, really solid match. And then at the end, John Cena lifted the hand of the winner, LA Knight. And he basically put him over. I think it's a great moment. I really, really do. In terms of where do we go from here? Well, I personally would not at all complain about an LA Knight and John Cena tag team run. We know at this point in his career, right, John Cena, he can't go like he used to, right? John Cena is now going to be there for excluding this next Friday, he'll then be here for the next 7 consecutive SmackDowns. So how about having him on a tag team run with LA Knight? That way, LA Knight can do most of the work, and then John Cena can just be there for the hot tag. And then maybe in 7 weeks' time, you do a big blow-off match between them, where you do John Cena and LA Knight in a match itself. I think that could be very fun, and I think it's just a good way, to be honest with you, to just feature Cena and take LA Knight to that next level. Yeah, but what about you, Chaos? What did you think about this match between LA Knight and The Miz?
All right, I'm kind of praying that my connection actually stays stable for this because I don't want any madness. All right, cool. So the promo it was good. Like the setup was great. You know, John Cena came out, like you said, did a little promo sticks, welcoming everyone and all that stuff. And obviously him and The Miz, they go way back. You know, the chemistry is pretty solid there. The match itself was fine. I'm not going to remember it, but it was fine. It was a typical Miz match, if you will. But yeah, it was good. John Cena made proper use of him being the special guest referee. He got into it. He got in there. He got into both of their faces. Slight little tension between him and Knight. But yeah, it was solid. It was a good showing for Knight. I predicted that Knight has to win this match, you know, and because Miz is in a position where he can never be harmed in terms of, you know, if he's gonna get buried or not. Is up there with like Ziggler and, you know, them solid mid-carders, if you will. So Knight needed the win, and the little situation there at the end at the ramp when they, John Cena respecting him, shook his hand and all that stuff. Would I see them as a tag team? I'd rather see them feuding. I'm more of seeing them because I'm more interested in seeing them feud and have a final blow off and maybe not going over. That's one huge win on Knight's side for him to propel to go a bit further than the mid card. I think feuding them and the promo battles we all know that will be just delissimo. So yeah, that's why I'd rather see them and, you know, Knight testing himself like a friendly feud. It doesn't have to be like Knight has to be a heel to get Cena. It's just be a friendly thing, and it'd be something that needs to be better than what Cena did with Theory. So yeah, like and I think Knight can definitely handle himself if Cena tries to bury him. I think he can definitely handle himself in terms of rebuttal. So that's why I'd rather see.
Absolutely. I mean, I would be down for that. LA Knight, John Cena, it just would be gold together. My cat just made a run in. Like we always say here on Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, we will always get an animal run in every single day. But we got a couple of comments. I'm going to go to the 4-person camera for this. We firstly have a comment from Soul saying, "Chaos with that Tesco level internet. You never get that in Scotland."
Yeah, of course we wouldn't get that in Scotland because you guys don't even have internet. You're just using mobile data right now. You're hotspotting, so don't try that. Scotland can't even spell internet. They're too drunk. So just deal with it, all right? Keep quiet, Soul. Love you, though. Go on.
Well, where others see weakness, I see an opportunity. I see an opportunity here, right, for a sponsor to get involved and to get Chaos a new internet And then
I
when
don't need the internet. I don't need the internet. I'm fine.
if his internet's better, then it's just a great luck for you guys. So pay us up and give Chaos a new internet. That's
Actually,
what.
for that, yeah, screw it. Why not? Yeah. Come to it. Yeah, that's fine. 500 MB. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll be sponsored by BT or something before we know it. But we've also
Anything but BT. Sorry, I'm joking.
the beef. But we've got a comment from Numero One Superfly as well, saying, "Would you guys want to see a promo battle between LA Knight and John Cena?" I absolutely would. There are very few things that are, promo battles between any stars in the company, which I would prefer to see more. If I'm being completely and utterly honest, there, I feel like that would be a lot of fun. But now, talking about things which are a lot of fun, let's go to something which was not a lot of fun, and that was Austin Theory's US Championship reign. Of course, Austin Theory lost the championship a few weeks ago to Rey Mysterio, but he had a rematch last night. It was fine. I don't really have too much to add about it, but what I will say is this, right? I hope they don't take too long to this Santos Escobar heel turn. Surely that's the direction they're going. Surely Santos Escobar is going to turn on Rey Mysterio. I don't think it should have happened last night because I kind of like the tease. And it wasn't anything blatant, but it was just they kept the camera on Santos and Rey for ages during the celebration. And people, even in my head, I thought, hang on, are they doing the turn now? And little things like that, just not blatantly teasing it, but just subtly teasing it. I like that type of stuff. But I do hope within the next month or so, they do split up the LWO. Yes, they will not even split up the LWO, kick out Rey Mysterio out of it and have it as a heel faction, a badass faction. I would be down for that for sure. But, Brett, give me your thoughts on this United States Championship match.
So, first of all, let's comment on the LWO. I think that they are the softest version of the LWO right now that they've ever been. And I would love to see an attitude change and an aggressive attitude change. Like a heel turn, as we're talking about, from either Santos, anyone. I don't care at this point. I just want to see something different. I also think that the PWO shirts, cool selling merch, but I think that just is like, it's just watering down the NWO brand for me personally. And it just was like kind of like cheesy. It was just like annoying to me. But let's comment on this match. I've seen this match already. We've all seen this match already, I feel like. I think that Austin Theory needs to either figure out what he's going to do with his gimmick next, or he needs to figure out an angle which he has in front of him with Grayson Waller to do a tag team run, which I think he needs to act on immediately. Because if not, I think they're going to either take an aggressive turn with him where it takes a south turn where he doesn't do much on TV anymore, and maybe he goes back to NXT and makes a run over there. But I think he needs to act on that now. I said this a few weeks ago as well. This match specifically, though, was a good match. It was, to me, it was like a mid-card Raw match. So, like I said, we've seen this match before. It was a good match, good wrestled match. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't long. Which, thank God it wasn't long. But yeah, I just think that this turn needs to happen with the LWO. They need to go actually like be bad guys or heels, and then we need to see Austin Theory do something with his gimmick.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Something needs to happen with Austin Theory in terms of LWO. Yeah, that they do need a change. I mean, they are selling a lot of merch. That's what I'll play devil's advocate to what you said, Brett. They are selling a lot of merch, so clearly, they're popular.
Latino World Order is different than Pittsburgh World Order, though.
That's true. No, that's a good point. That is a good point. But
it's a whole, yeah, it's a different.
Money's money.
Yeah,
but it's It is a good point. They need to do something. They need a bit more of an edge about them or whatever. And I think when they kick out Ray, I'm hoping they don't go back to Legado del Fantasma. I kind of do hope they keep the LWO
Yeah, I
name.
want them to keep it as well. Yeah,
Ray.
heel LWO, definitely. Legado del Fantasma didn't transition well to the main roster. That was definitely for NXT. Keep LWO because everyone recognizes that, and you got more casual crowd. Stick with LWO but make it heel. They were heel in WCW, I think, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, so there you go then. Keep carrying tradition.
They were the best heels too.
I do hope you guys are right. I hope that we do see heel LWO and Ray gets kicked out in the very near future. But now let's talk about what a lot of people thought was match of the night at Payback, and that was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Judgment Day in a tag team match, in a street fight. Ooh, this match was good. This match, of course, was rated 5 stars by Coby Galenzoski on the Wrestling Republic rating system. And in my opinion, it absolutely deserved that rating. It was so much fun. There was multiple falls where I was like, well, this is the end of the match. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, this is the end of the match. Oh, no, it's not. There was a lot of innovative spots throughout it. It was just really, really fun. The crowd was on fire for it as well. I'm running out of good things to say about it. I really, really am. It was perfect. The Judgment Day are now on the same page, of course, as they are all champions. Let's hope that this now stops the can they coexist storyline each week on Raw between them all. And let's just have them on the same page continuously for a couple of months and then go back to it. I don't see an issue with that. Maybe even bring JD into the faction and then slowly kick out either Priest or Balor. I don't think they need to rush this now, but I do think they need to just have Balor and Priest on the same page consistently for the next couple of months. But of course, Coby, you gave this match 5 stars, so talk to me about it.
I mean, what is there to talk about? This match sits here as, it was the hottest match of the night. The crowd was electric. This was one of the stipulations where they actually kind of fit and played with the fact that they were like, oh, it's a Pittsburgh Steel City street fight. Yes, it's cheesy. Yes, marketing-wise, we know the reason why. But at the end of the day, it was fine. We're seeing the Pittsburgh, not the crying towels, but the yellow towels, and Finn Balor doing it. He's getting heat from it. We see the hockey stuff. We see it. At the end of the day, this is exactly what Anarchy in the Arena tried to be, or no, Stadium Stampede tried to be at All In. This was organized chaos where we actually had a story being told with the Judgment Day, with the numbers game, with the fact that we're still seeing Rhea Ripley being that massive X factor of the Judgment Day, spearing Kevin Owens through the barricade. I thought it was a great spot. I thought it made her look great. I thought everyone looked great. I thought JD bouncing off the table was fun. I thought a lot of spots were fun. Dominic getting put through the table. We can all talk about it. At the end of the day, this was the match of the night. This easily could have been the main event, and I'm glad the way I saw things going was the actual way they were going with the Judgment Day. Okay, we're gonna see them have a title reign, and hopefully it's not short. The only thing, if I had to say, if you challenged me to nitpick, the only thing I would say is it kind of is like this is kind of how they ended it. It shows that they really didn't have an end game putting the tag titles on Sami and Kevin. But the storyline at WrestleMania was so good, and they're so talented, and Sami Zayn definitely deserves it. And they deserved it as best friends. It was a great match. I have nothing to complain about entirely surrounding this match.
Yeah.
Great match.
I feel like, and chaos has gone again, but I feel like, the match was so good. It's lagged chaos
Great
out.
timing.
You couldn't take it. But I do feel like you're right, Coby. There's not much you can say to complain about this at all. I really, really enjoyed it. Brett, would you agree that it was the match of the night?
I do believe it was the match of the night. I think that all the storylines that they're kind of going through their heads and backstage are kind of fun as well. There's a lot that can happen with this. I think that the Judgment Day are going to have this title reign, but I also do believe that Priest is going to lose his Money in the Bank because of this.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that either Zayn or Owens are going to interfere when he cashes in.
That's certainly not something which I would predict. I mean, I do think that it's possible he doesn't win, but I feel like it's either going to be JD or Balor, and I have a feeling JD who will cost him, or he goes the other way and he does win it, and then it's Balor who gets kicked out by JD. For maybe Owens or Zayn to cost him, well, wow, I hadn't thought about that, but perhaps, he tries to cash in with the numbers game, and that does happen. I mean, what about you, Chaos? Would you say that this was your match of the night?
110%. Yeah, I was just teasing it earlier on. This was definitely my match of the night. What I wanted to also say was that obviously with the brawls and everything, the fact that the thing that I liked about it, it was scrappy, but it was the nice kind of scrappy. Like, how AEW has it with Anarchy in the Arena or mainly Anarchy in the Arena, where it just doesn't flow well. There's so much stuff happening that the cameras can't really keep up. And then, whereas this one, everything was done perfectly and the timing was just right. Then not everything wasn't perfect. It felt like a proper street fight. Whereas what AEW does it with Anarchy in the Arena, it feels like they're trying to freestyle it, but it just doesn't go well. And because of that, the camera misses out on certain things. But with this one, yeah, it would just flowed perfectly. The close finishes, the twist at the end, it was like a Dominic MVP of the night. All right, let's just give it up for MVP. Give it up for Dom. He was great. The random interference with Rhea Ripley as well. It was just definitely one of the top contenders for one of the matches of the year, in my opinion.
Wow.
It's definitely in there. I thoroughly loved it. Got me hyped up 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I had no business being that hyped. It was just great. So that's what I wanted to say.
I felt the same way. I was having a blast while watching this one. But now we've spoken about the Judgment Day. Let's speak about another member of the Judgment Day, as Rhea Ripley successfully defended her WWE World Women's Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. And I'm going to be honest, right? This was a match which I thought was fine. I mean, I didn't think it was anything special, but I thought Rhea Ripley actually looked great in it, to be honest with you. I was saying it to Carter while we were watching it, that I thought that Rhea Ripley at the minute does look, when she is wrestling, she looks like she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. She just moves so freely, so technically. I think she's actually underrated in the ring, dare I say. But I thought this match was fine. But then online, people were saying, oh, this was a really bad match, blah, blah, blah. This was the worst match on the card, which I can agree with that. But people were really making out like it was something bad. I wouldn't go that far, but Chaos, do you feel differently? Am I missing something here?
No, it was definitely one of the weakest matches on the card, if not the weakest. No, I'm gonna go on a limb and say it was the weakest. Was it terrible? No. What it did show me is that Raquel is, I wouldn't say she's not ready. It's just that for a big match like that, she's just not ready for that kind of big match. There was a lot of sloppy moments in there, some missed timings. The crowd was dead. Like if you saw, they were definitely piping in some sound. If you saw how the sounds they were using, and then you see the crowd, it was not matching. It was not syncing. There was a lot of people that were yawning at a certain time. I think they were just burnt out from the last match. It was just poorly placed, this match. There was a lot of disinterest in there. One of the OG guests of Taking to the Table, Mr. Rhymes, he was actually at the event as well. He didn't say one word about this match. Everything was great up until there. So he can attest to that. It did not, what you saw on TV was not the true reflection at the arena. So I pretty much, this was in the background for me. I feel bad for Raquel. This thing was drawn out. It looked like they didn't know where to place this match because it just got drawn out for so long. But yeah, this wasn't a good showing for Raquel. And yeah, we're happy that Rhea's finally defending her championship. But I mean, she should have done that back at SummerSlam instead of getting this. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm not gonna remember it. Hopefully, this is the final nail for Raquel for now. And hopefully someone else better comes along, because yeah, this was not a good showing for Raquel and not worthy of Rhea's time. I'm sorry. So yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
3.5? Really? Come on now. Be serious. No, don't agree with that.
I agree. I mean, 3.5 on our system is like, quite I mean, if it's lower than that, it's pretty not a bad match. I mean, you can go down low without it being a bad match, but 3.5 is, fairly
I'll say that was a 2.75. Like, the crowd was absolutely
no.
Kobe's
Kobe's rage quit.
Anyway,
he ducked.
yeah.
He ducked as soon as you started going at him.
He's back. He's back to defend himself. Oh gosh.
But yeah.
Well, we got a comment from Numa1 Superfly saying Rhea versus Raquel felt like a little bit of a letdown. I felt as though they could have gone into second gear. Nothing to do with chemistry, but I just felt something was off. I mean, Kobe, again, you did the star rating. Would you agree with that?
I mean, that's the thing. To me personally, ratings aside, it was not my match. Was not my match of the night. It was probably my worst match of the night, if you want to put in quotations. It was the least important match, and I felt like it was good for what it was. We saw great psychology with working the knee. I thought the crowd wasn't as bad as they were for Ray Theory, but it was slightly better. But we were still getting mommy chants. Like, I mean, Rhea was still over in the match.
That looked piped in, though. That's what I'm saying. The crowd did not reflect that.
It's difficult to pipe in those types of chants.
Why would they pipe in mommy chants?
It's very difficult to pipe those in.
Rhea's a heel. That's the thing, is you're not going to pipe in chants that are like pro heel.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I agree with the piping.
That makes no sense to me. But I 100% agree with the statement, is this match did not reach the level that it should have been at. It was definitely their weakest match ever, because we saw better matches in NXT. It didn't go to that next level. But the biggest thing is the booking and the lead up. They were not putting. There's no juice to seeing Raquel Rodriguez dethrone her. There's no juice to seeing Raquel be the one to dethrone her. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, Raquel has a chance," and that's a fault of the booking. And I'm not going to say that's perfect.
It's true,
but that's
I'll agree with that.
I'm not pro Raquel right now, and I feel like there's something missing with her.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's bad to say that she wasn't ready, because like she can be a viable challenger, but yeah, the booking just didn't make you believe in that.
She had a better showing against Ronda Rousey, and that's odd to say.
Yeah, that is surprising to say.
That's odd to say, because we know Rousey's last year was not good.
No, it wasn't. A few highlights, but mainly it was not good. But we need to move on now. We need to move on to something which I did think was quite good. And that was Seth freaking Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. And going into this match, David Sheldon on this show said that he wanted to see a bit more of a stiffer Nakamura who hit a bit harder. And I thought Nakamura did hit a bit harder in this match. I really, truly did. These two, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as say it was a classic, but I'd go as far to say it was probably my second or third favorite main roster match for Shinsuke Nakamura. It was super fun, a great premium live event, main event. Super fun stuff. I loved the finish. I really did. The curb stomp basically out of nowhere. That was a lot of fun. Seth Rollins, was very beat up during it, and that leads to my only complaint. And my only complaint here is that Shinsuke Nakamura at the end of this was very, very hurt. So from a Judgment Day perspective, from a Damian Priest perspective, why wouldn't you cash in Money in the Bank? This seemed like a perfect opportunity to. Maybe on Raw they'll end up saying, well, Finn Balor convinced him to go partying after winning the tag titles. Perhaps they'll say that. But for there not even to be an attempt here, I feel like that was a mistake. But firstly, for this one, I'm going to send it to Coby. Coby, give me your thoughts on the main event of Payback.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, we see that there's a much different approach to how events are laid out. We see that the main event is always supposed to be match of the night, and the main event is always supposed to be given time to deliver. We've seen a number of matches that haven't been the best. Like, I mean, the SummerSlam, there's a lot of criticisms with it. I thought this was technically better than the SummerSlam main event. This was far better than Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, because that was severely carried by the end result, the ending angle of the turn. At the end of the day, this was just a solid match. I don't want to say there was that next level, because the storyline leading into it was Nakamura is targeting Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins is an injured warrior, an injured battler, whatever fighter, whatever, however you want to say it. And I'm sitting here hearing Nakamura chants, and I'm sitting here saying, okay, well, yes, the story, we're not, yes, we saw Nakamura targeting the back and looking methodical, and it was really good, but he almost didn't, because of the crowd not chanting for him, he couldn't look as menacing as he should have. That's coming out of that match. That's the one thing I can say and nitpick around it. But I thought it was really good. We saw great striking combinations. I like the return of the landslide. I don't remember it being used at least much before in his WWE career. I liked it being used. I liked the psychology was really good in this match, because the targeting of the back. I do agree with it's kind of a missed opportunity, but at the end of the day, Priest has a year. That's his thing. That's obviously his thinking. We don't know where he wants to use it. If he wants to use it for this, maybe he has secret thoughts of using it on Roman. We don't know Damian Priest's internal dialogue or internal conflicts. At the end of the day, I do believe it's a missed opportunity, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I thought it was a really great main event. It was one of the middle main events of the line. Not too great, not too mediocre, but not good, not too great. It was in the middle. One of the main events that didn't go over the top, but it was good. It was really good.
I will agree with you on that. I mean, I feel like I actually loved it a lot more than other people did, because I followed Nakamura's career now since he was in New Japan, and I really do like his style. We've not seen him kind of hit that level the last few years, so to see him hit that level again, I thought was great. But Chaos, what were your thoughts on this main event match? Did you think it was as good as I thought, or did you think that, it was just a strong standard premium live event main event?
Yeah, I'm more leaning to the latter, as a strong, main event for a premium live event. It was, I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved the presentation, like, of what they're doing with Shinsuke. I mean, obviously the way they were portraying him, it was like this evil anime villain, and they really leaned into that with his entrance. Going in, they were proper leaning into that, and I love they're still keeping his theme. I'm glad they haven't gone back to the rock version of his entrance. But yeah, it was a great showing from both guys. They were teasing, obviously they were leading into obviously the back situation. But yeah, so this obviously puts Steph in a good position that he can overcome the odds and overcome the obstacles, and just come through. One part I didn't really like at the end was that it looked like they were teasing that Priest was going to cash in, because Shinsuke at the end of the match, Shinsuke was just in the background, just pacing up and down. I thought he was going to at least maybe attack him one more time, and then that's when you see Priest come in and try to do the business. But yeah, it just kind of made Shinsuke just look a bit kind of off. Well, to me, it did anyway, and he just rolled to credits. But yeah, for what the match was, it still doesn't beat the street fight. No chance in hell, definitely not. But yeah, it was a solid main event for a B level pay-per-view. Premium live event. Yeah, it was just a nice little. It was one of the ones where it was just like a nice little bow on top of a good show. It wasn't them things where it was just, oh my god, mind blowing. Just a nice little bow. And yeah, you can't go wrong with that, really. So yeah, but it was fine for what it was. But yeah, that won't be the talking point for the show. I don't think.
No, I mean that is a good point. I will agree with you that in comparison to the street fight, which just absolutely blew everyone away, and also the opener, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, it was very, it was very difficult for people, for any other match to live up to anything following it. I mean, WWE, I believe, have released the clip now as well. But Shinsuke Nakamura attacked Seth again after.
That's a bit late.
The show. So I feel like, I don't really know what they're doing with it, but I presume that they're going to continue the feud now. I mean, unless you're doing a big gimmick match for it, which I wouldn't mind. I don't know what you could do, but if they did something really special, I wouldn't mind it. But otherwise, I don't know how I feel about this feud continuing, as it was a clean victory. But Brett, what about you? What were your thoughts on the main event of WWE Payback?
I have a very different take. I think that this should have happened a while ago, obviously, but this is them finally realizing that they need to repackage Nakamura. And I've said this a week ago or 2 weeks ago that Nakamura needs to come with a more aggressive attitude towards Seth to bring back that New Japan Nakamura that we all knew is a hard-hitting Nakamura that we've always known. But at the same time, I believe that this match was the start of something that is going to be great, that we're going to really appreciate. And it's a feud that's going to last a while with these two. And I think it's not something that the back is pushing. I think it's something that these two want as well. Because to me, it's more of something that relates to something that has happened in New Japan with, let's say, a Kenny and Okada. They want to maybe do that type of run with these two. That would be beautiful to me. I would love that. If we get a number of matches that are really good, but this one, like the two, Chaos and Coby, and Ben, you guys were saying, this was a okay match. To me, it was a good start to a great feud. I also think that if Priest did come out, Nakamura wouldn't let him get the title. But that's just my take on this. I think it's the start of something that's going to be really great.
I hope you're right. I really do. I mean, it is difficult at times in WWE for them to do, multi-match series, especially without them feeling repetitive. It's undoubtedly possible, right? It really, really is. But here's the difference to it, like a New Japan, an Omega, Okada, for example, you use that reference, is that there's no weekly television product, right? And when you have a weekly television product, there's only so many segments you can do to build up the pay-per-view matches and all of that. Now, what you could do is perhaps do each one a few months apart, whatever. I mean, most recently, and I'm sure there's been more recent references which have been better or whatever, but Styles versus Cena, I thought, had it perfectly in 2016 to 17, their trilogy of matches. Of course, they had one, I think, at Money in the Bank, then one at SummerSlam, and then one at Royal Rumble 2017. And, I mean, everybody argues which one was better, but they kind of spaced them out. So maybe they could do something similar with these guys because, I mean, based on their match last night, I think they have great chemistry and they can do a lot together. Now, of course, tonight, AEW All Out will be taking place from Chicago, like we spoke about earlier. Brett, you touched on it earlier. Could CM Punk just hijack this show? I hope not. But
would you? Would you? You just got fired like in your home turf. Wouldn't you try and do some madness on social media?
If my boys were egging me on, and like if my crew was egging me on, yes, 100%, I'm there. I'm buying a ticket. I'm sneaking through security. I'm gonna get in that crowd, and I'm gonna disrupt that show. And that's what I was saying to Coby before, which I think could happen. We don't have a lot of time here to discuss this, but it very well could happen.
No, it absolutely could.
There's footage of the Young Bucks victory lap on social media from last night. So obviously something can push his buttons.
Oh, no. But anyway, we're going to have to wait and see. I'm sure All Out will be an entertaining show. Let's hope it's not hijacked, but who knows. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, please hit a like and subscribe. We're here every single day for you guys. We've hit 9 months now, I think. And also, of course, if you're on Twitch, a follow, much appreciated. And then on Spotify, audio only, a cheeky 5 stars. You know, it helps us out massively. Now, thank you to the head of reviews, Coby Galenzoski, for joining me here today. Thank you to Chaos for joining me here today. And thank you to Bret joining me here today as well. Let's hope All Out will be a banger of a pay-per-view. And let's hope that it's worth the, $50 for a second week in a row for you Americans out there. Well, I feel for your bank accounts. I really, really do. But thank you guys. Let's hope it's a good show. We'll see you tomorrow where we'll be giving our thoughts on All Out.
Phantom Bear is better than Prime. Just wanted to say that.